So guidance of children is in the hands of Allah. And I agree, many families were blessed with children and progenies who pass down the baton of knowledge from generation to generation. Some families were blessed like that. The family of Imam Ahmad, family of Imam Abu Hatim al-Razi, the family of Mandah al-Asbahani, Taymiyyah al-Harrani, generations upon knowledge. Family of al-Iraqi, al-Subki, and others. Families of scholarship that just pass down the baton of knowledge from one generation to another. But many families of scholarship, if not most families, they weren't blessed with this. And that should restore some comfort to our hearts, as Imam Maliki said. For example, the great Imam of Hadith, Shu'bah, he had a son called Sa'd, meaning happiness. And his father would encourage him to learn from the local Imam, Hisham al-Dastuwa'i. But Sa'd's response would be, I want to tend to my birds today. اليوم أريد أن أرسل الحمام. I want to play with my birds today. I don't want to study. So his father, he would say, سميت بني سعدا فما سعد ولا أفلح. I called my son Sa'd, meaning happiness. However, he did not end up being a happy person, nor was he successful. Reality of life, you can't pass down khair and goodness like inheritance, as Imam Maliki said. Another example is the great scholar of Hadith, Al-A'mash, who had a son, but subhanAllah, he wasn't as bright as his father. Al-A'mash sent his son once to go and buy him a clothesline. So he said, Dad, how long should the line be? He said, 10 cubits. And then his son said to him, how wide should the line be? So his father said, it should be as wide as my calamity is with you. That's how wide it should be. في عرض مصيبتي فيك. It should be as wide as my calamity is with you. Subhanallah. What can you do? It's in the hands of Allah. And Imam Ibn al-Jawzi, we've quoted him many times in the series. The great Imam, Abu al-Faraj, he had a son called Ali. And he followed his father's footsteps for a short while before then turning to laziness and recklessness and bad companionship and sins. And he began to speak ill of his dad. And his father said, I make dua against Ali every single morning during my Fajr prayer. La hawla wa la quwwata. What can you do? This is life. يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. As Allah said, He brings the living out of the dead and He brings the dead out of the living. This is how it is. Having said that, this does not absolve the parent, right, from making every effort and to use every technique out there to raise righteous children, to protect them, and to create reformers even. And even particularly in our times today, when the alternative to the Islamic lifestyle is the glorified status quo. You have to take every technique and not rely upon what Imam Malik and his like said, we can't pass it down. That's a valid statement to give solace if and when the children may go astray. But there are techniques. For example, take note of these. To befriend your child. Befriend him, befriend her. So that you are their first port of call as a parent, not friends. Number two, by tasking them with empowering duties which nurtures their confidence and self-esteem. Number three, by leading a life of worship yourself as a parent and high aspirations and planning, because Allah protects children by virtue of the goodness of their parents. Generally speaking, that is the rule. Another technique, a nightly 15-minute Islamic story that will shape the identity of your child, especially if they are still young. The power of this technique, number four, it cannot be overemphasized. Number five, by dedicating daily dua for your children that you never miss. These are some of the techniques that we can employ when we ask Allah to give us righteous children.